Morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out this morning, and thank you to those of you joining us online. My name is Elisa Olson, and I'm the Communications Director for the City of Corpus Christi. We have important updates to share regarding our water supply, and we want to ensure that you, the media, have the most current and accurate information directly from the source. So we will be doing this every Friday, same time, same place. We're going to start today with a brief presentation outlining key developments and our next steps. Immediately following remarks, we'll open the floor to formal question and answer session only from media. We do want to be as helpful as possible during this session, but please note that due to timing constraints, we will not be taking separate interviews afterwards or doing follow-up questions from the audience afterwards. Also, we will have a Spanish translation summary of this event toward the end of the session. And with that, please join me in welcoming City Manager Peter Zanoni.
Great, thank you, Elisa, and good morning, everyone. Good morning for the media that's here. We have several of our local media outlets here with us, and we know additional are watching online. So I am Peter Zanoni, the City Manager for the City of Corpus Christi, also representing Corpus Christi Water this morning. Because water is such an important issue for our community, we are doing these briefings now every Friday. We want to make sure that our residents and the community over a 7-county region has good information directly from the city. And so that is why we're going to do these briefings every Friday to bring you the most current information. This week, we want to highlight today marks strong momentum forward in securing additional water. As of today, we have additional water flowing into our system, and I'm going to talk to you about that this morning. We have made some key actions, and we're moving forward with some strong progress this week alone. That comes from permitting that was approved by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, for what is known as our Western Groundwater Well Field. Also, as of Tuesday of this week, or earlier this week, I think it was Wednesday actually, we were informed by the Lavaca-Navidad River Authority that they will forego what was planned to be a 10% curtailment in April should that reservoir fall below 50%. So two tremendous new pieces of information that move our water supply forward. We have the permits from TCEQ now for our Western Well Field, and the Lake Texana curtailment that potentially could happen in April is being pushed back for us. This comes from state leaders' leadership, and I do want to take a moment to personally thank Governor Greg Abbott and our Texas legislative delegation. I personally am very thankful to the governor for helping us. We need a lot of help, not just locally, but here at the state level to do what we're doing. Governor Greg Abbott has gone a long way to help us get to this point this week. Our legislative delegation, our local legislative delegation, led by Chairman Todd Hunter, Representative Denise Villalobos has done tremendous work at the governor's office and locally, and then our two senators, Chewy and Adam Hinojosa. They've all met several times together this week and last week, and they worked with the governor as a team this week, so we really want to thank them. So as Elisa said today, I'm going to recap what has happened this week with some of our major water projects, and then conclude with just a quick outlook of what's coming up next. We do want to reserve more time today compared to last week for our questions from the media. This is supposed to be a more interactive forum, and so I'm going to try to go quicker than I did last week. So let's just start with regional outreach and coordination. That's important. We are a regional water provider, meaning we provide water to many communities across a 7-county region. And so because of that, we want to make sure we're engaging with leadership to make sure they know what we're talking about today. What are we doing to bring on more water? What do our forecasts look like? And how are we improving our infrastructure? So earlier this week, I met with leaders, city managers, and city administrators from the city of Portland, Ingleside, Aransas Pass, Port Aransas, Taft, Gregory, Rockport, and we had members also from the San Patricio Municipal Water District there with us. That was one of many meetings that we've had with this leadership group and bringing to them information that we have on our water development projects and how we're moving forward so they can help their communities move forward as well. Progress on water supply projects, as I mentioned earlier, we're pretty excited about this today. We have moved forward with several water supply initiatives that are improving our water outlook already. You know, I did want to say that it's been more than 30 years. Somebody asked me recently, a reporter asked me, how long ago was it that the city brought on a new water supply, not infrastructure, like the Mary Rhodes Pipeline? And so we didn't have that answer ready, but I did check, and it's been over 30 years, 3 decades, since the city has brought on a new water source. So that's a long time. So the tremendous work we're doing these last couple of months and last year or so are changing that trajectory, where it's been 3 decades since we brought on new water supply. We're diversifying our portfolio, and we're making a more resilient water system for now to get past this drought, but it's a permanent, intermittent, in some cases, water source system that we're developing. It's generational, as I mentioned last week. The recap is that now over the last several months and really year, this city council has approved $1 billion in water supply projects that'll bring on 76 million gallons of water a day. So that's pretty tremendous. So let's talk about the first one, our Western groundwater well field. That's the one where this week, TCEQ on Wednesday officially awarded us the permit that we need to discharge that water into the Nueces River for now to convey it to the Owen Stevens. Eventually, we'll be putting it through a pipeline system to get to the water treatment plant. But for now, for time savings, we're discharging it into the river. And we did get that bed and banks permit from TCEQ. This well field, the Western well field, which really is comprised of 2 tracts, a 250-acre tract that we bought, and then what we nicknamed the ERF, or have dubbed the ERF, Ed Rochelle Foundation property. From that property, which is 2,000 acres, we purchased groundwater rights recently from that foundation. So when you combine those two, it's 26 million gallons of water. As of yesterday, this is breaking news as of yesterday, and it was reported, but as of yesterday, we were discharging about 5 million gallons into the river. The forecast is that through April, by the time we get to the end of April, we'll have a total of 13 million gallons coming from that well field. And then by the end of May, we'll have brought on another 8 million, or 21 million in total, coming through the system there. And then through June and July, the last 5 million gallons, primarily on that ERF tract of land, will be online for a total of 26 million gallons of water. So that's just the kind of the 3-month blocking of time of how we'll bring that water to our system. Lake Texana, I mentioned that. So the Lake Texana, which is in East Texas, about 100 miles from here, is an important water source for us. Today, the reservoir is about 50, depending on what source you're checking, about 53 to 55% full. And this is an important water source for the city. The western reservoirs, where our 2 lakes are, Lake Corpus Christi and Choke Canyon, that has been in drought for about 5 years, extreme drought. And up to this point, Lake Texana has not had those drought conditions affecting its water supply until recently. And so beginning about last fall, Lake Texana also now began moving into an extreme drought category. So there has been very little inflow into the reservoir, and that's why the monitors, the Lavaca Navidad River Authority, the managers of the lake, do have a management plan. And once that lake drops below 50%, the city was to have taken a 10% curtailment, which is about 4 million gallons of water less every day. That could have happened in mid-April. But the leaders there, there's a board of directors appointed by the governor, and they have a general manager, Pat Bukowski, and they have decided to, because of our condition here in our western reservoirs, not implement that 10% curtailment for now. And so that will give us several months more supply at the full amount, helping us here in our drought. The Evangeline project, just a couple of notes on that. This is an important groundwater project in San Patricio County, not too far from here, from the city. That project continues this week at City Council. City Council approved a second package of work on that well field or on that project development site. Prior to this Tuesday, the council approved about $200 million for design and construction services. This Tuesday, they approved approximately another $200 million. So to date, about $400 million has been approved and is approved by our city council for design, acquisition of materials and construction services. Also this week, we finalized the action with city council for the water right purchase. And so we'll be signing those documents this week, today, and those water right purchases were about $169 million. So that project is completely now set up administratively from the city council, and work is beginning. Work will be beginning, construction work, I should say, will be beginning. The project is about 60% design already, and in early April, construction will begin on site. We continue to work with the district for the permits that are needed for the drilling and the transportation or transfer of the water as well. But good progress there, and we'll keep you informed on that, especially when the work begins. I personally am going to be on site, and I'll invite the local media when those construction trailers pull up, because that'll be a pretty monumental achievement. This project has been contemplated for decades, and finally we'll be moving forward on it. It'll bring 24 million gallons of water into our system. So we do have some work this week on some of our seawater desalination projects. These are the most sustainable water sources that we have. We are still working with City Council on a contract for the Inner Harbor, and that is scheduled for April for a vote on the contract. One of the things I recommended the council in this second iteration of this project is bringing to City Council or bringing to the community modeling of the bay, environmental modeling of the waters in the bay that the city does independent of any contractor that could benefit from building the plant. So there's a level of independence. There is an advisory group that is going to be working with a consultant that we hired this week. 19 members of the community are going to be working with the consultant. That consultant was approved this week by City Council. It's a $300,000 contract. Spheros is the name of the company, and they are from Round Rock, Texas. They've done work here before for the Port of Corpus Christi and modeling the bay, and they're pretty excited in that work group. We had a pretty long meeting last week, and 3 hours, in fact. They're open to the public and the broadcast live, but the panel, which is very diverse, is very excited about Spheros, as are we. This will be the first time ever that we'll be able to answer the question for the community: will a desalination facility in the bay system impact the waters of the bay? I'm glad that I brought this forward to City Council. It will, without any doubt, will answer those questions that some community members have, that some believe there could be an impact of the bay, and so we're gonna find out once and for all. And that includes not only Corpus Christi Bay, but what is known as Nueces Bay, and then the ship channel. So kind of those three bodies of water will be studied. Early results will be in the end of April, and then the full report will be provided to us, the community, to the advisory group by the end of June. Another desalination project, Barney Davis Power Plant location, that was reported from reporters as well in San Antonio. So just to correct the record for the community especially, this project will not get us out of this drought that we're in today, because it's going to take 4 to 5 to maybe even longer years to build. The action that was approved this week by City Council here is reciprocally being approved by the CPS Energy Board of Directors, and that is that both entities have agreed to work with each other to develop a business model of how a desal facility could operate there, in terms of how would the city ultimately get a take-or-pay contract for water from it. So work will continue. We've had a lot of work done in terms of dialogue. There's been some preliminary studies that have been done over the years, but we'll continue now to work in earnest with CPS Energy on developing that business model. The question has already been answered. Can a desal facility be built there, and would it be feasible? That question has been answered, and the answer is yes. And so now we're going to study what would the business model look like? What would the price for water be, as an example? Okay, and then this week also, one final thing here before we talk about the next week coming is this week we also showed to the community 5 models of our level 1 emergency forecast. We have a worst case scenario and the best case scenario. We, up to this point, only had one. And we're taking into account in those 5 different models various factors like the lake level storage amount, the quality of water in the lake, groundwater availability, our well, permits, and other factors. And so the media covered that well. The community has that information. Worst case scenario is curtailment, or level 1 emergency, I should say. Could take place in May. Best case scenario is there is no level 1 emergency. So just want to remind us of that. So coming up ahead, we do have council workshops. This is the next big thing, and I think in our work plan here. We have a council meeting this coming Tuesday, a regular council meeting. But next week after that, we'll have a workshop with the city council just on the level 1 water emergency business components. What does it mean to be in a level 1 emergency? What do we do? What happens to rates? What happens to curtailment? What happens to special classes out there, like customer classes like hospitals and schools? And how does it impact us at home? How does it impact industry? That's a big part of our economy here. There is a lot of material. I think it's probably 2 to 3 dozen policy items that City Council needs to be briefed on, and we'll take some action on some, like rate adjustments or curtailment percentages. And so the council, we want to make sure the council has the best information, and we're developing some of this for the first time ever in the city's history. And so that workshop will be not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. And then again, in the month of April, the third, what would have been a third council meeting that month, will be a workshop again with the council on the issue of water and level 1 water emergency. So that'll be April 28th. The meetings will be here in the city council chambers, or the workshops, and they'll be from 10 to 2 is the plan right now, 10 to 2. They will be, there could be more. You know, the council may want to have even more workshops. And so just, these are 2 that are planned for now, and we'll probably need more. So that covers what we have done this week. Again, we've had a tremendous week. We have brought on more water already, 5 million gallons more as of Wednesday. We are foregoing a curtailment in Lake Texana, which will help us. We continue our planning efforts on this level 1 emergency, just to make sure if we have to get into it that we're very prepared. I've applauded our community, our region really, many a times because of our ability to manage catastrophes and be prepared for them in case they come here, like a hurricane. And so we know how to do it. We just have to get planned up and readied up for this one. If it does happen, we're not saying it's going to happen, but I want to make sure that this community and this organization and this region is ready in case we do have to get into it. We can't not talk about that, because it's easier not to talk about it. We have got to talk about it, and we have a lot of plans already. And it's not just Saturday. I saw some comment that we're coming in on Saturdays to do this work. We're working on it 5 days a week, and we need a 6th day because we want to make sure we're prepared. So we're working 6 days of the 7-day week to finalize the plans for this. So that is it for my briefing this morning. We're going to now let Gabby translate some of this into Spanish, and then I'll come back to the podium here, and we're going to take care. We have 43 minutes for questions or so. Okay.
Esta semana las discusiones se centraron en el suministro de agua de Corpus Christi en medio de las condiciones de sequía persistentes en el sur de Texas. Los puntos clave incluyen, por parte de TCEQ, es importante destacar que los permisos fueron aprobados por parte de la Comisión Estatal de la Calidad del Medio Ambiente, añadiendo 5 millones de galones de agua diarios a nuestros recursos, esto para el Pozo Occidental. Hemos mantenido también coordinación con líderes regionales e iniciativas de suministro de agua. La diversificación de la cartera de recursos hídricos mediante proyectos como los pozos de aguas subterráneas del río Nueces y los proyectos de agua subterránea Evangeline, los cuales representan casi $1,000 millones en inversiones destinadas a mejorar la confiabilidad del suministro de agua. Esta semana el Concilio aprobó un contrato con una compañía para realizar un estudio medioambiental en donde se espera obtener información sobre los patrones de salinidad, movimiento de agua y condiciones del medio ambiente en toda la bahía. El Consejo Municipal también aprobó una colaboración con CPS Energy para explorar la desalinización de agua de mar en las instalaciones de la central eléctrica Barney Davis. El Consejo Municipal aprobó cambios en su calendario de reuniones para centrarse en las discusiones sobre el suministro de agua. 2 reuniones ordinarias serán reemplazadas por talleres especiales sobre el agua del Consejo Municipal destinados a realizar una revisión exhaustiva de la planificación y los proyectos hídricos. La seguridad hídrica es una prioridad y la ciudad está comprometida con la transparencia, la coordinación regional y una planificación responsable. Se van a proporcionar actualizaciones semanales para mantener informados a los residentes sobre todos los esfuerzos en curso.
Great. Okay, thank you, Gabby. Okay, so with that, I'm here, and Nick Winkleman, our Chief Operating Officer for Corpus Christi Water. I did see, too, I don't think it was any local media, but some are still using the interim title. So Nick you were, through an interview process, was selected and promoted to be the Chief Operating Officer of Corpus Christi Water. So for those folks outside of the city, thought I'd bring that up this morning. So our leader of Corpus Christi Water is here, I'm here, and we have other folks. Should I not be able to answer the questions? So we'll open up for questions at this point. Yes, sir, Adam.
When it comes to the western well fields, now that permits are in hand, have any of the scenarios changed? You know, have any of the models been updated? Are there any scenarios that are now more likely now that the permits for the western well field are secured?
Great, thank you, Adam. That's a good question. So I'm going to repeat the question in case some of the audience can't hear it. So Adam Beam from Chris 6 asked, how does the western well field, especially coming online as of Wednesday, how does that change the forecast models that we have, the scenarios? And so we never in the 4 forecasts, we never showed water coming on so soon. The earliest date was April, and so this is March, so we're about 30 days ahead of water being introduced into that supply curve. So it will have a favorable impact on the models, on all of the models. We have 5 different models. Even the worst case scenario now will have more water coming on now in March. We have to update them still, and so we have a meeting Monday with our modeler. We use a private firm to help us with the modeling, and so we'll update them. And to the models and to the point of which one are we going to use, because these models are to guide decisions, but eventually we're going to have to pick one to guide us. And because information is still changing like it did this week, the next change will be from the management plan that we have to be able to discharge the water into the river. So we have an environmental management plan that we have to follow from TCEQ, and we know, and news outlets have reported that on our eastern groundwater project, we aren't able right now to put in all the water that we can. We have ability to pump 10 million gallons of water, but today we're only pumping about 4 to 5. And so what we have to do there is work with TCEQ to get an adjustment to the water quality management plan. And so that will have an impact on the models going forward. And then another item that will have an impact is the Evangeline permits. And so as the management plan decisions are made from TCEQ, and as we get some information on these permits from an administrative law judge, those will be the final 2 pieces of information. And then in these coming weeks, we're going to pick one of these models to help guide, because we have millions, billions maybe, on the line from our industry partners especially, and they need to know, they need a predictable regulatory environment to work within. And so we're going to pick a model eventually, but we just need a little bit more time to get 2 more critical pieces of information. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Right, thank you. So the question is, now that we got permits to be able to use the Western Well Field, when will it be 100% operational? And I'm going to speak to it in terms of 2 parcels, because it's really 2 pieces of property. One is a 250-acre tract of land that we bought, and we own the land and the water rights. And then adjoining it is about 2,200 tract of land that we bought the water rights only, not the land, from a foundation here locally. And so combined, I'm going to speak about it in a combined term. By the end of April, we'll have 13 million gallons of water discharging, should the management plan hold up, the environmental management plan. By the end of May, 21 million gallons a day. And then ultimately, to your answer to your question, by mid-July, by late June, mid-July, we'll have the entire 26 million in production in those 2 tracts of land. So there's about 12 wells on the initial 250 acres, and then we'll have about 9 wells on the ERF property. So combined, we'll be able to discharge about 26 million gallons of water by late June, first week of July or so. Mm-hmm. Right, so so they have been selected already, and so the question is there's an advisory board out there, and so we do have an advisory board for the Inner Harbor seawater desalination, what they call far field modeling. It's the environmental assessment, and that's where Spheros, the company, is going to model the bay to see what impacts does a desalination facility have on the water quality. And so we could have done that and just got the report and gave it to council, but we wanted the community to be engaged all through the process. And so there are 19 members through our community who have already been selected and have sat now on 3 meetings. There's been 3 meetings so far, all lasting 3 hours. And the city council approved 1 person each, so those 9 from the city council. And then I appointed 10 persons to kind of fill in some of the gaps. And so it's everything from community leaders, people that live in neighborhoods by the bay. We have scientists on there from universities, and we have experts in terms of the environment and all the way to somebody that lives in the neighborhood. And so they are there. They helped us select the consultant. They're helping us with the scope of work. And there'll be meetings now every other week or so that Spheros can bring in work to date and have the committee kind of peer review it, kind of give feedback on what they're seeing. And ultimately, we want the committee of 19 members to express an opinion to City Council about what they feel this report's saying. And so that's a very important part of this work. It's going to help validate the question of, does it impact the bay, yes or no? And so we're excited about that as well. Those meetings are here at City Hall. They happen on the 6th floor. They are open to the public, and they are live cast stream. And the next meeting is April 3rd is the next meeting. So April 3rd, a couple of weeks from now, will be the next meeting. And right upstairs, so if anybody wants to go to it, you're more than welcome to. Rachel? Oh, yeah.
I'd like to go back to groundwater.
Okay.
So the city has talked about, with groundwater, mitigating, say, for instance, in Nueces County, like number 3, we're working with them for Robstown residents. But landowners have expressed pretty significant concerns.
Right.
What will the city do to mitigate those rise?
Yeah.
How are you going to address it?
Right, so the question is groundwater wells that primarily in the area where we are at, primarily for domestic use, but there are farmers and ranchers who have expressed concern. And so that'll take place any place you have a groundwater project. So we have a plan for Nueces County projects as well as the San Patricio project, Evangeline. And so there's several answers to that question, and we care about those farmers and ranchers and rural people who live out in the community. It's a beautiful part of our region. On the more immediate part, we've set up a communication protocol. There is a number, and I'm going to have Nick tell, what's the number, Nick? 361-826-1600. That's a dedicated number to call. So if you want information, if you think something's going on with your well. So we set up a communication link. We have a website that lists everything we're doing to help manage the groundwater for us and for them. We have a program where we will go out to a homeowner's or rancher's well if they want us to go out there and help them do a baseline of their well water depth, the quality of the water. We'll help them set up a baseline. We've also, we have some of the folks that are doing this. We're going out periodically and checking levels. And so that's step one. Another part, though, another important part to the response is we have high confidence that the wells that we're drilling do not impact shallower residential, even ranching and farming wells because of the depth and the design or the geography, or geology, I should say, of the aquifer. And so just a quick 101 on the aquifer. We're talking about the Evangeline aquifer, and that's different here in South Texas compared to like a limestone aquifer up in San Antonio. And so the aquifer down here is a formation of sand separated by thick clay, then another layer of sand, thick clay, and so on and so forth, all the way down. And the water does not move up and down through these clay layers. And so when you're taking water from the formation, it depends on the depth you're taking, and is it separated by a clay layer, and then to that next level. And so we're spending extra money to ensure there's no pumping of the water from where the rural ranchers, farmers, and homeowners are taking their water from. Their wells generally are 300 to 500 feet deep. Our wells are 800 to a little over 800 feet deep. There's high confidence that they're secured or sealed off from their water sources. We've gone extra steps, though, to put a steel casing along our well, and then we fill it in with cement. So it's like a double, triple almost protection where water is not being taken from the upper formations. We're just taking water from the lower formations where it's a little more saltier. It has a little more salt content, TDS, total dissolved solids in it. And so what we do know what can happen in a drought of record, like this drought we're in that's been around for 5 years, is that upper formation that replenishes itself with rain, it can go dry. And there can be some misinterpretation by the well owner that, oh, it's because the city's well that now my well is going dry. But what we find out most of the time, if not all the time, is that it's not our wells, it's that the drought is impacting that upper formation that is recharged by rain. The water that we're tapping or getting at that 800 feet below ground level, that water has been trapped there, according to the hydrogeologists, for billion or billions of years. So generally it's not recharged by a rain event. It takes a long time for it to begin to recharge. So that's the kind of the classroom lesson on wells. But we do have a program, and we care. And we've had town halls in Robstown. We've had them in Cal Allen. We're going to have more. We're going to be in Odom next week. Is it next week? We're going to be in Odom, Texas next week. We don't have any wells in Odom, but there is a project there in Sinton, in the Sinton area, in the same county, San Patricio County. And so we care about our community, and we're making sure we have protocols in place to help them. And so there's a team at Corpus Christi Water that will, one, help do a baseline assessment, two, monitor their wells to see how do we fix issues if there are any that come up. We're going to go to, yes, sir, Preston. Yes, sir, Preston.
This question is from Michael Gibson. He just said in this question.
Okay.
How many more fire field studies do we have to do? Apparently, at least 2 of the 3 have been done in the past. Why were those not good enough to give us the answers about the impact on the bay?
Right. Okay. Michael Gibson from KIII asked, we do have some far field studies on the shelf already. Why are we doing more? And so the answer to that is there have been environmental / far field studies done of our bay, but they have been limited in scope. They have been limited either by the amount of questions they were trying to answer. In other words, did they just look at salinity levels? Did they look at oxygen levels in the water? Did they look at temperatures? So they've been limited in scope, and they've been focused on specific areas of the bay system. And so there's studies, but this one is different, and we don't have this one, which is one, it considers the entire bay system that can be thought of in 3 bodies of water: the bigger Corpus Christi Bay, the Nueces Bay, and the Ship Channel. And then secondly, it studies not only temperatures of water change that can have an impact on oxygen and aquatic life, but 2, salinity levels. It also is going to begin some initial assessment on oxygen, which can cause hypoxia, as they call it. And so that's the answer. We don't have a study that has done all of the above that I just mentioned. It doesn't have all the geographic areas, and it doesn't have all the assessments that we're going to do in this one.
And one more question.
Okay.
Michael Gibson.
Okay.
He said he met with a large industrial water user the other day at City Hall, and what was the results of the meeting? Are they drilling their own water wells or using treated wastewater? If they are, and they get off of our water system, won't our prices go up?
Right, okay, so Michael Gibson from KIII, we is talking about our industrial customers. So in Corpus Christi, Texas, it's no surprise, we have a huge complex of petrochemical refiners and manufacturers of products using oil and gas. And they're our partners, we consider them our partners. They use a lot of water in their processing. Somewhere between 50 and 60% of our water every day is used by companies like Exxon and Valero and Flint Hills and Citgo and Cheniere. And so some of them are looking at alternative sources of water, recognizing that this drought is here and our water supplies are tightening. And so I think the answer to the question is, will they rely on these 100% in the future? The answer is no, because there is no water source large enough for them to run their processing. So they're really kind of supplemental projects. Some of them are looking at groundwater wells, but you have the issue, especially here closer to the bay, of more TDS, more salt in the water, so it's not good water for processing, for cooling or cleaning, and it needs to be treated. So they're looking at these measures. I think what you'll find is the more interim in nature. They won't replace the CCW Corpus Christi water supply to them, and they may be more expensive, frankly, than what we can sell them water for. But to that question that Gibson had, which is if we took these big industrial users off the city's system, what would happen to rates to the residential and commercial accounts? And that answer is pretty easy. It is that the rates would go up tremendously. Because here in Corpus Christi, it's just the nature of where we are in the region in Texas. It is more expensive to get fresh, clean water here than it is in other areas of the state, like San Antonio, who has a limestone aquifer, which has almost zero treatment costs associated with it. You just take the water out of the limestone cleansing system, chlorinate it, and it's good to go. That's not the case here. We are using the most expensive water types to treat, and that is surface water. That's coming from rivers, ultimately, and some of them have been dammed up into lakes. And so it takes a lot more money to treat that water. The distribution cost, the water itself is most expensive, then you have the cost to clean it and to distribute it. So if we don't have a big customer base like the industrial base, then those fixed costs are going to be divided by the residential commercial base, and rates would go up. So it's a double-edged sword for us here, which is that, yes, they use a lot of water, but they're providing millions and millions of dollars into that fund to help pay for the fixed cost and the variable cost for water. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Right. Right, so the Western Groundwater Project in Nueces County, the question was, is it online and how much water is it producing? And it is online, and so from 4 to 5, is it 5 wells or 4 wells? 3 to 4. So we just started it up yesterday, and so we're still fine-tuning the system, the pumping system or schedule. So we have 3 and 4 wells running now since Wednesday. That's discharge. What's that? There's 3. Let's just say 4. So we have 4 wells that are operable. They may not all be on at the same time, but we have 4 wells that have been drilled, and there's pumping equipment, permanent pumping equipment, and they're attached to the distribution system to get to the outfall at the banks of the river. Those 4 wells are producing about 4 to 5 million gallons, say 4.5 million, just to make it simple. So the 4 wells that are operable are right now producing about 4.5 million gallons of water a day. Yeah, 4.5 million gallons of water per day that's being discharged into the river. The river is the conveyance system to get to our own Stevens water treatment plant. That conveyance system ultimately is being replaced by a pipeline, by a 24-inch, 40? It's actually 36. So we're going to have, we already have in design and construction's beginning soon on about a 13-mile, 36-inch pipeline system, so we don't have to worry about river impacts, and so that ultimately that's how we'll get the water to Owen Stevens. But for right now, we discharge it into the river, and so those 4 wells are a total of what will be 19 wells in total. So 4 of 19 are fully drilled, fully operable. There's about 4 others that have been drilled, and we have either permanent pumps or temporary pumps. And then the other 4 will be drilled on the western side in the coming 30 days or so. And then the ERF property that we bought the rights from, those are being drilled by the seller of those rights with a similar schedule. And then we'll drill some additional wells there in late June, July. Yeah. As of Thursday? Okay, sorry, my days are off here. So as of Thursday, yeah, so all day Thursday and then today. In fact, we're going to be up there today with 2 of our local media outlets. KIII is going to come out there with us, and Chris Six as well this afternoon. We were here at City Hall all day yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to go up because it's pretty, for me, this is pretty monumental, and for Nick as well. This is a big deal. And again, we thank the governor for helping us, Governor Greg Abbott. So we're going to go see it. We've seen it before, but we're thankful for the local media to come up there with us so they can show the community as well. We also are, with our in-house team, our videographer team, are going to be doing an educational video on all of our groundwater and reuse projects so the community can better understand it. I'm pretty confident that if we ask most people in Corpus Christi, they wouldn't know what the Weston well field is. So we're going to show the entire site through drone footage. We'll have maps. We're going to do some up-close videoing of the wells, the discharge point. We want the community to really understand this asset that we're investing money in. Rachel?
I'd love to get some clarity on surcharges.
Okay.
So industry representatives have previously told us that large volume water users are not exempt from surcharges under one water. But when you read the drought contingency plan, it lists irrigation, residential, commercials, and non-exempt large volume.
Right.
So do exempt large volume water users?
Right, great. So the question from Chris Six, from Rachel, is the issue of, of surcharges. And basically, a surcharge means a higher price for water from what you paid yesterday to try to drive down consumption with economics. And so one of the items already in our in our level 1 emergency preparedness, and it's in our city council approved drought management plan, is that issue of surcharges. And so there's some misunderstanding because of the label that was used to describe, basically I call it an insurance program that was set up about 8 years ago for large volume users. And so about 8 years ago, large volume users like Exxons and Valeros worked with the city council and put together an insurance program that said, I'm gonna pay every year, today it's 31 cents per 1,000 gallons of water bought. I'm gonna pay you every month, every year, 31 cents more for 1,000 gallons of water, so that if a level 1 emergency is declared and if city council increases the rates through surcharge, if I bought that insurance, I don't have to pay the higher rate. So that's that's the baseline that exists. And so today I think we have about 10 or so. There's about 10 large, maybe a little less than 10, but there's about 10 large volume customers who have bought that insurance program. And once you get on it, you can't get off it and then get back on it type thing. And it brings into the city about $6 million, which helps drive down rates for our customers. It also helps us with cash funding for new water supply projects like a desalination project or even these groundwater projects. And so because they've been paying in now, this year, it wasn't this much 8 years ago, but it's $6 million, they have an insurance plan to where if the council does increase the rates, those who have bought the insurance don't pay the higher rate. There's a few large volume users, like a steel plant, who didn't buy the insurance program, and so if we increase the rate, they're gonna have to pay the higher rate. But some of the petrochemical refiners who have paid into this insurance program for 8 years now, they will pay their same rate that they're paying today. Now that is different from, let me just bring it up, that's different than curtailment, because some in the community think they're exempt from a reduction in water, known as curtailment. Those are the two terms we're gonna be dealing a lot with here with council and the community. Nobody is exempt from curtailment. There's no insurance program for curtailment. And so if we have to reduce the use, if we say all of our 5 customer classifications have to take a X% reduction in water consumption or use, everybody has to do that. There's no insurance program for the curtailment.
Follow-up question on that.
Yeah.
So last week you said that essentially there was no way to really enforce,
Well, right.
and that it's gonna be on the honor system.
Yeah.
Exempt large volume water users in your stick versus your carrot is you're gonna have to pay more.
Yeah.
How can you have an expectation they will reduce?
Yeah, so the question is, if there's no way to enforce curtailment, a mandatory reduction in use, how do you enforce that? We've been talking about this, and yesterday we had a real good conversation with the team that's working on this. And so for the large volume users, or for all of our customers, there may be some valves, but we're not going to be turning valves to curtail water, to curtail customers' water. It's especially dangerous in the petrochemical industry if we're out there turning valves and there's an issue with a highly explosive product or process. It could lead to some catastrophe. So it is, as Rachel said, there is going to be a big level of individual responsibility to stay within your lower limits of water. The good news on large volume users is because they're a big part of our water use every day, and there's only about a dozen of them. We do have data to the minute of how much water is going into their system, and so we're going to be monitoring it real closely. If one of our customers was supposed to only use 2 million gallons a month and they're using 4, that's an easy phone call to put pressure on them. And so there's ways to help keep them in compliance, and it doesn't have to be in the form of economics, increased fees. But this is a big part of the conversation we have to have with the community, is that we can't be selfish in our use of water, whether you're Valero or whether you're a homeowner. And it's really going to take the community coming together if we get into this situation. But there's ways to manage consumption through meters. We have meter data, and we have telephone numbers, and we know people, and so we plan to enforce it through various ways. Plus the community, we know I did an interview with a national group earlier this week, but we know that in this community there's a lot of watch from our community on the big industrial group, and so we know that our partners in the industrial side are mindful of that, and we know that they have to have a higher level of professionalism and community accountability because everybody else is watching. So, yes, sir, Adam.
So under a level 1 water emergency, part of the plan is that vehicle washing is completely prohibited. Are commercial car washes exempt from that prohibition, or are commercial car washes also going to have to follow the same rules when it's curtailment under level 1?
Right, yeah, so Adam from Chris 6 was asking, in our current city council approved drought management plan, when we declare a level 1 emergency, in there it says all car washes have to close down. And that's what's in the plan right now, and so this is something that we have to have a conversation with city council. Do we still want to enforce that already approved standard in the drought contingency plan? As of right now, that's exactly what the policy says that city council approved, which is that if we declare a level 1 water emergency, on that declaration, car washes, all commercial car washes, whether they use recycled water, whether it's the old-fashioned kind with the wand and the bay, whether it's one at HEB or one at a gas station, all of them have to close down. I'm sorry, what was that? Right, yeah. So in our drought contingency plan, and most communities are familiar with these, you have some level of stages of water reduction. And so our drought contingency plan had a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 3, we have been in for a year now, and that is where there's no outdoor irrigating at all. And there's a few other things that you have to do under stage 3. The next stage in that progressive step is a fourth stage known as a level 1 water emergency. And that is a point in time where 6 months from that point in time, supply won't be enough for demand. And so this week we showed to our city council and the community 5 different scenarios of when that could be called. 2 of the scenarios, 2 of the most pessimistic, show that could be called in May. 2 of them show it could be called in May. 2 show October of this year, and 1 shows never going into a level 1 emergency. But as we spoke to Adam's questions, those are being all those 5 scenarios now will be updated with the western permits being achieved. So the range is right now anyway is May through never. Yeah. Right. Yeah, thank you. So the question was, what about the drought contingency plan and water and the issue of municipal swimming pools and splash pads? Last year, we were in this drought, and we made modifications to that operational protocols for our splash pads and swimming pools. And we're evaluating that plan we used last year to see, do we do the same exact thing this year? Do we modify it even more? So last year, we did have all of our outdoor swimming pools open. And we did either buy or we're in the process of buying covers for the pools to minimize evaporation. We also use an agent in the water that helps to minimize evaporation. Our splash pads, we modified the operating hours, and I don't have it memorized, but they used to be open 5-6 days a week. I think we used to close them on Monday prior to this drought. Last year, we had them open, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, something along those lines. And so it'll be something similar to that. The splash pads have a little bit more of an evaporation, rate, if you will. And so we do have to look at that to see. But last year, even with those modifications, the community still got a chance to enjoy those nice water features that we do have. And so it was a slight adjustment, but we're going to have to look at it. That update will be coming out soon.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Yes, sir, Adam?
So, we've had a lot of conversations about level 1 water emergency, and I know you mentioned at City Council that the National Weather Service, a heavy rainfall forecast is not looking good right now. But I'm just curious, say in the near future we get some pretty significant rainfall, say the watershed starts, getting better, we start seeing improvements in the watershed. Now that we've been through this, now that the city is going through this, has there been any discussions on what is going to be put in place to ensure that this never happens again? So
Yeah.
the watershed is built back up. What are the plans if there have been any discussions
Yeah.
that we don't have a situation like this happen maybe 10 years from
Yeah.
now if things improve?
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you brought that up because, as I mentioned, that was Adam Beam from Chris 6 asking the question. The question is, here in South Texas, and especially here, droughts are cyclical, and about every 5 years we have a drought. Not as bad as the one. This is probably going to be the drought of record. This thing is real bad. And so we're bringing on a lot of water projects. I mentioned, and we have a board over there, 76 million gallons of water projects. What has happened in the past in this city is that when these projects were brought on to get us past the drought, they were then taken offline. They were either forgotten, they canceled leases, they stopped paying royalty rights on ranchers' property where wells were, and they went away, and the reservoirs were full, and everybody thought everything was great, and it's not. And that's why we're here today. And so the water system that we have here in Corpus Christi, we're changing for the better. and we're changing it for generations to come. And so what we knew and what we know and what I want to repeat, in case we don't know, is that this water system that we have had and that we're changing has the highest risk categories across every element of it. The water itself is the highest risk. It's most prone to drought and evaporation. The conveyance of water, 70% of our water comes in through a pipeline, one single pipeline, is more risk. We have one water treatment plant for the entire region, which is even more risk. So what we're doing, Nick Winkleman and his team at Corpus Christi Water with City Council, is we are changing the water system, both the physical part of the system, to include the production of the water, the conveyance, and especially the sources of water. So all the projects we're talking about they are not temporary. They're not part-time, they're not temporary. They are permanent projects. The Western well field that has 26 million gallons of water, step 2 on that is to put in a reverse osmosis project, about $45 million worth of RO treatment for groundwater. We have heard, we got to confirm it, but it's going to be the largest in North America groundwater treatment project. That is permanent. Will we be taking the water out of the wells every week and every month if the reservoirs are full? Probably not. But when we get to this situation again, we don't have to spend 2 years to find the water, drill the wells, put it in the RO system, because it's going to be there. Desalination is another answer to that question. We need that. There's just, without any doubt, we need desalination because groundwater is limited and it has emotional ties to ways of life that we can see. And so we need desal. We have 3 projects that the City Council has to make some decisions on. We have the Inner Harbor desalination project, the only fully permitted, fully funded with premier low-interest loans from the state. That one's ready to go. Council's going to decide on that in April. We have the Harbor Island desalination facility with the Nueces River Authority and the Port of Corpus Christi. The City Council approved $2.7 million to have perpetual water rights from that plant once it's built. And then we're looking at Barney Davis as a 3rd location for a desalination facility under a take-or-pay model. So all of these groundwater projects, our effluent reuse and desalination, need to be permanent parts of the portfolio. They introduce additional treatment plants, not just one. And so this is something that is pretty monumental. And the City Council, who is sitting with us today, have taken generational votes, monumental votes to bring this forward. This has never been done before. And so the system we're going to have moving forward is going to have resiliency, redundancy, and will make sure it will allow us to not be in this position again. We should not be in this position at all. We're in it, and we're going to get out of it, and we're not going to be in it again based on the work that we're doing. So thank you, Adam, for that question. Rachel?
Since this is the last question, I
Okay.
wanted to address people's frustration.
Okay.
Residents use the least amount of water.
Yeah.
Data shows that they reduce consumption.
Yeah.
Industry uses a lot.
Yeah.
Address the things we hear week after week after week.
Yeah.
And the burden on right there.
Right. Yeah. So Rachel asked something that in my 7 years here was very apparent even before I began as city manager, and even more so now that I'm a part of the community. And I told this to a national reporter this week, which is that this community has a very big divide. We have the hardworking families who have been under curtailment for a year, who have had to cut back on water, and the water consumption at the residential levels has gone down tremendously by our own metering information. And then you have big industry that we consider our partners because they fuel the economy here in Corpus Christi and in the region. And so it's really a dichotomy that does not exist, I would submit. I told that to the national reporter and other Texas cities. I know in my 22 years in San Antonio, it did not exist there. It exists here, and it's something that we struggle with. And so I'm a resident here, and I've been curtailed, but across the ship channel, the large volume users haven't been. And so it's a tough position to be in. I think the answer to the question, though, is that the solution to the issue, really, not the answer, but the solution is just what we're doing today. We have got to have more water supply. I didn't say it to Adam's question, but we should have 2 to 3 times on any day the amount of supply that we need. And in the past, we haven't had that. We relied on, we're going to hope the western reservoirs stay full, and then that was it. So by having 2 to 3 times the amount of supply, we won't be back in this position, because our residential customers and commercial accounts who are trying to have a nice landscape establishment have had to do a lot. Have had to do a tremendous amount of lift to reduce water. And even me as a homeowner, I'm worried about should I turn this faucet on or not? Should I do the dishes? Should we use it? So I know, I just want the community to know, we know that they are under duress from this situation. We know it. The way we're going to get out of it is bringing on enough supply so we don't get here again. I can't make up for the past of what we had, but we are improving the future so we don't get to this position again. Okay, Lisa, we're going to turn it back over to Lisa. Thank you, folks, for being here, and we'll see a few of you out at the Western Wellfield in a couple hours.